They were a bunch of misfits, but man, they did pretty good. We're talking about Moby Grape and Peter Lewis, our special guest, one of the vocalists, one of the guitarists who's just released a new album. There'll be links in the description where you can pick it up. But man, Peter, with his whiskey-soaked voice, tells an amazing story. In this one, he talks about the good parts of Moby Grape and the not-so-good parts about being in that band that gave us hits like the 805, Omaha, Mr. Blues, and It's a Beautiful Day Today. Peter Lewis, Moby Grape, rock history music. Moby Grape is an American rock band formed in San Francisco in 1966. Renowned for its unique blend of rock, folk, blues, and country. The original lineup featured Jerry Miller on lead guitar and vocals, Don Stevenson drums and vocals, Bob Mosley bass and vocals, Peter Lewis rhythm guitar and vocals, and Skip Spence guitars and vocals. Each member contributed to the band's multifaceted sound. They quickly garnered attention for their tight harmonies, instrumental prowess, and very energetic live musical performances. Their debut album was simply titled Moby Grape, released in 1967, and is considered a classic, featuring the tracks like 805, which remains their highest on Spotify, Omaha, and Hey Grandma. Despite the album's critical acclaim, it was marred by Columbia Records' decision to release 5 singles simultaneously, which kind of diluted their chart impact. Internal conflicts, management issues, and Spence's mental health problems led to the band's early instability. The debut album peaked at number 24 on the Billboard charts, while the follow-up, Wow Grape Jam, in '68, peaked at number 20. But their third album, Moby Grape '69, released that very year, only reached 113. All these albums demonstrated one thing, the revolving sound. But all the records after the first never touched that magic. The band's lineup changed frequently, and they disbanded and reunited many times through the decades. Despite these challenges, Moby Grape's influence on the psychedelic rock scene remains significant. It was their ability to fuse diverse musical styles into very cohesive, groundbreaking work, and all that has earned them a dedicated following and a lasting legacy in rock history. What was the hardest part of being in Moby Grape? What was the most satisfying part of being in that band?
Well, just in the beginning, it was like being in a band of guys like me. I mean, they're all sort of had we were all kind of misfits in a weird way. Like Skip got kicked out of the airplane because he wouldn't practice enough or something. And, Bob's definitely, like one of those guys that just, he just keeps moving. He's like that guy in the 5 Easy Pieces, he just leaves things because they get boring and gets moves on. Didn't care what it is. He could quit Moby Grape and then come back this afternoon or not ever come back. That's always the way he felt about him,
Most gratifying part of that band?
Where we were like brothers, more like brothers in a band, so the music, we could all play music, and we had this great time writing songs, working our songs out together, until we got famous, I guess you could say. And then it was sort of every man for himself, because that's what happens. Unless you can control your character. Like I said, again, it's about being able to stay in control of your own character. I mean, if I'm supposed to be, I can't think that I just have a character in Moby Grape. I'm the guy that sings the sad song, because it's like you can play rock and roll. If you can switch from that to some kind of like the way we used to be able to do that, to some really cool slow song or something, lead people, you don't have to exhaust the hell out of them, I think sometimes it's like, especially the bands I hear nowadays, it just never stop, seeing how their performances are all about how much stamina they have, is playing as many notes as they can in each measure, singing as many notes as and seeing how long they can keep doing it. And it gets to a point where you just say, hey man, tell me something good.
I always look at hardships as going, put that in your pocket. You might need that. You'll learn some things in this.
Right. Oh, I think that's how it works. It's like you have your life. You have to make something out of it. That's the learning curve. I mean, if there's any reason to even be here, they put me in this place because, it was either go to school or go to an outhouse. And that's how my family was. That's what I'm saying. Everybody's got to put on the everything's all right show. But what happens if you don't? If you can't, well, we'll send you to somebody that can fix you. And in those days, it was these behavioral psychologists, and they didn't fool around like they do now with, asking you questions. They ask you a few questions and then they shoot you up full of something and put you in a place until you go back to school or do whatever. Not make a big. They anything you did back then. The establishment was very strict. I mean, our parents had won the Second World War, and they did it by, uh, having what they describe as character. Character is the ability to respond to the expectations people have of you. That's what character is.
Make sure you comment on our video, subscribe to our channel, and share our videos. Remember, if you want to make a donation to the channel, there's a PayPal link at the very top of the description and a link to Patreon if you want to get early access to all our videos. It's a great little club we have there. And buy swag. You can have a t-shirt with Rock History Music, Rock History Canada if you're Canadian, or Rock History book. Right at the cover, you can get a big logo, small logo on caps, T-tops, t-shirts, and coats, and a lot more. I'm John Bowden from Rock History Music. Take care.